Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of The Law and You. I'm your host, yours truly, Attorney at Law Shellon Washington. It's my pleasure every week to bring you this program to enlighten you on the law relating to certain issues that might be affecting you, the public at large. Today, we'll be discussing online harassment, bullying, and defamation. It has recently came to my attention that there are a large number of people recently who are being harassed online. And this is mainly because, social media has become more like a weapon to some people. They have access to the internet, they have access to a phone or a computer, and now they're able to take their problems to the internet. Before we had the internet or before social media became so advanced as a tool to be used to defend people, or in some cases to wage war against other people, we simply had to settle our differences in a courtroom. But for some people now, the internet is a tool for them to use to do certain damage. They don't longer have to go and file an action before a court. They're now no longer trying to respect the boundaries of the law. So they're taking matters into their own hand. Is what we call street justice. For instance, in Guyana, if somebody do something wrong, a lot of times people they take street justice. They take to the streets, and people would steal and they would beat the person to death on the street, or they would take certain violent actions against the person versus waiting for the law to take its proper course and do the right thing. So today we're going to be discussing this recent trend of bullying other people online, harassing them online, and defaming them online. So, I've come across instances of recent where people somehow believe that they're still maybe in Guyana, maybe in a foreign country where these things are allowed, and they don't know the law. They don't understand what they're doing. So I want to enlighten people, especially the ones here in New York, that when you do certain things and you are in a country that protects its citizens, you're going to face the tape. For instance, in Guyana, I know we have the Cyberbullying Act, but I mean, that act is a little bit oppressive. So we're not going to focus too much on that act. What we're going to focus on is what is happening here in the United States, in New York, what some people are doing, mostly Caribbean people, because I haven't seen this trend among American people. They know better because they live here and they understand the law, and they understand that you cannot just take matters into your own hand and just do whatever you please when it comes to other people and their lives. Okay. Now, if you have a dispute with a person, for instance, I've seen several instances where people have dispute with each other, right? They disagree on some sort of issue, or there might have been some instance where it turned very, contest is a contention between the two parties. and they're no longer friends. They were previously friends and they're no longer friends. And what has happened is, rather than just allow it, let it go, a lot of people are now, okay, I'm going to go to the internet and I'm going to tell people what you're doing. So I see this trend. A lot of people go and they blast somebody on the internet. They crash out on the internet and they tell the world that person's business, or so they believe it's the person's business. Whatever is their truth, they're spreading these things online. And I want to let you guys know that you will never get away with going online and airing things about people that potentially is false, right? So if somebody didn't give you permission to share their information, to share their business, to share pictures, family photos, photos of their neighbors, photos of them, their children, their mother, their father, and you decide you're going to take those photos and you're going to share it online with other people, you're looking at the possibility of being sued. There's an action in the state of New York called invasion of privacy. Now, you could easily invade a person's privacy by taking pictures, image of the person, and you can post it or in a false light. A lot of times people put text on the pictures and they try to paint people in a false light. Like, for instance, they might use defamatory statements and say the person is involved in illegal activities, or I've been seeing this trend also. I've seen it recently under a news posting where people are looking for those people who they believe are illegal in the United States, or they're illegally carrying on certain business, certain affairs, and they're posting those people's pictures on those websites and telling people, here, this person is in Queens and this person is engaged in prostitution, or this person is engaged in that. What I want people to know, that if those information is not true, for instance, if the person is not engaged in prostitution and you go telling the world that that's what the person is doing, or the person is not engaged in drugs, dealing, or any of those illegal activities, and you post a picture and tell the public at large that this is what this person is engaged in, you're looking for a lawsuit against you. And that's what's going to happen, because the person is going to go consult an attorney. And if they come to our office, the first thing we're going to do is maybe issue a cease and desist letter, or just move straight forward to file a lawsuit against you. Now, let's examine whether or not those instances where people are publishing this false information would fall under any type of cause of action. Right now, to spread rumors or to spread lies about somebody's online, that is a type of tort. It falls under the umbrella of tort. So one of the things is, if the information you're spreading, you're not ensuring that the information is truthful, or if you're just reckless, you don't care whether or not it's truthful or not, you just decide you're going to publish it anyway because it came into your hands and you would like to publish that information, you're looking at the possibility of being sued for defamation. And a lot of times people do things not recognizing their actions, their consequences assigned to those actions. And if there's consequences assigned to those actions, and you go out there and you spread rumors, you say, oh, this person is doing X or they're doing Y or whatever it is, you're posting it on your page, you're posting it on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, you name it, you're posting it there, and you do not concern yourself to verify, you do not fact check your information, and you go and you publish that information, you look at the possibility of a defamation. Now, what is a defamation claim? A defamation will be any false statement. It has to be false, right? That is intended to lower the thinking of the person in the minds of right-thinking members of society. So if whatever I'm publishing is to affect the public in a way that they're going to think lower of that person, or they're going to think less of that person and think that person is nobody good or is not somebody I should associate myself with, no, that is defamation. So any content that you know to be false, but you're deliberately spreading it without fact checking it, without verifying it, then that is defamation. And a lot of content creators are just publishing stuff. I see a lot of people just publishing information without even verifying the truthfulness of that information. And it's misleading. And if it's directed towards an individual, that individual could maintain an action against you. Now, there's one caveat, because, People are in different countries and they're defaming other people. For instance, somebody could be in Guyana or Trinidad or Barbados, and they could be defaming somebody who is in New York, right? And the reason why they can is because the community of people, we follow each other. So if we know somebody is from Guyana and they're a content creator, all of us are going to follow that person automatically. We're going to be gravitated towards that person. So if we're following somebody who, we are aware that this person, they publish information or things of public worthiness, information that the public might be interested in, and that content creator is not verifying, they just get rumors and they just push it out there, they push it hardest and they publish it. But the problem is, like I said, if the person is in a foreign country, if they're in Guyana, if they're in Trinidad, it's difficult to maintain an action against them because now it becomes an international thing. The internet is international. So the question is, where should the lawsuit be brought against that person? Now, it depends on the jurisdiction, because obviously somebody in Guyana who has never came to New York, never entered the United States, the courts here would not have jurisdiction over that person. We would have to actually go to Guyana to file an action against that person for defamation. The standard for defamation in Guyana is way lower than it is in New York. If I sue someone, if someone is causing injurious falsehood, if someone is damaging my business reputation as a result of false information that they're publishing online, then I can maintain an action in Guyana. Guyana recognizes defamation. They recognize injurious falsehood. So I can maintain an action and I will succeed in Guyana very easily. And there's no celebrity status or public figure status that is recognized in Guyana. But unfortunately, in New York, there is the public figure. You could be a limited purpose public figure, or you can be just a general purpose public figure, a public figure who is known and enjoy a certain amount of notoriety among the public. They're well known, they're well recognized. And that one is harder with social media influencers, because there are cases that says not because you have the internet and you could go online and speak about a particular issue mean you're automatically a public figure, because a lot of people go and speak about public issues, but not many people might be paying attention to what they're saying, so that they're not influencing anything, the outcome of anything. As you know, a lot of social media people have the term influencer on their status, but it means nothing in the context of defamation and characterizing you is as a public figure, unless you are able to influence the outcome of a particular situation. So if you can influence that, then yes, you will be placed in that category. And then the standard becomes higher. You have to prove actual malice. It has to be like, okay, so you knew the person knew you, and they intended to publish false information because maybe they had some malice against you. Maybe they had some problem with you, and they wanted to spite you. They wanted to destroy your reputation in the public's eyes. So they went and they took steps to do that by publishing false, misleading information. I've had people publish false, misleading information about clients' business. And this is coming from a lot of Guyanese people mostly. A lot of Guyanese people coming out from Guyana, they're here in the United States, and they do not understand the rule. They don't understand the law. So they automatically believe, okay, I'm out of Guyana, I'm in New York, I can say whatever I want to say because somebody is paying me to peddle false information about the person. But if somebody's paying you to peddle false, damaging information about a person's character, what does that mean for you? It means that you're going to find yourself behind the face of justice. You're going to have to answer to justice, the law, the judge, and tell the judge why you feel that it was justified for you to go and peddle false, damaging information about the person's business, about their character, and leave it in the public domain. And just know that there's some reckless people also. I've seen one instance where a lady went and spoke about a woman's chastity. Like, she literally called the woman a prostitute. And mind you guys, anything about a woman's chastity is damage per se, meaning you don't even have to prove special damages. So I'm like, what would possess anyone to go online and say these damaging things about a person's character? You're going to have to prove that. And if you know that you can't prove anything about a person's chastity, I would advise you to just not do it. Because if you go and you do it, you're going to have to get yourself an attorney to defend you, and you're not going to prevail. You're going to lose. Every single one of those social media cases where people are spreading false information about people, they're going to, the person who's spreading the false information is on the losing end, because it's recorded, it's in a permanent format, and there's no way that you can undo what you've already done. And to speak about a person committed adultery, they cheated with somebody, they did it, that is a very hard standard to overcome. Like, you're gonna, even if you bring the person you claim the person cheated with to sit on a witness stand and to testify, you're still gonna lose. Chances are, you know why? Because it turns on credibility. What a judge is going to see is videos of you saying these false things about people. And I think like a lot of the influencer here in New York, they're just there because they're getting paid. They're getting money from somebody is paying them to peddle false, damaging information, and they're not thinking about the ramifications. They're not thinking about what happens after you're finished peddling this false information. So if you choose to do this, then I mean, you're just gonna have to face the tape afterwards, because you're gonna be slapped left, right, and center with lawsuits. And I personally feel like the money, whatever people are getting, for some people, that's more enticing than to be on the safe side and speak only truthful things about people. It's one thing to go online and explain to the public that somebody is doing something to hurt another person, right? So if a person wants to tell their story, that's fine. But if you, the influencer, you're peddling the story for the person, who do you think is getting sued? You will, and the person who might be behind you peddling this false, damaging information may be sued also. So it'll be both of you will be sued, and you'll be put before the court to explain why is it you believe that the information you're publishing, that you have a right to publish this type of information about any person. Okay, why is it you believe that you should publish false information about anyone? If it is truthful, there's something called truth justification. That's a defense to defamation. If you can establish that, okay, yeah, but it's truthful. This person did do these things. This information was available about this person. Um, there's people who have pictures to prove that this person actually did this thing. Like, for instance, when we were speaking about the adultery, where there's some influencer talking about people committed adultery on their spouse. I mean, these are the type of stuff you don't want to get yourself into. It's a messy situation to be discussing on an online platform. But I do understand a lot of people lack filter. Like, they will do anything for money. So they don't care what they're publishing. And this comes from the mentality that they come to a different country. Caribbean people, we are used to just saying anything. You curse your neighbor in public. But instead of cursing the neighbor in public, now you can actually curse the neighbor worldwide. So now everybody can hear what you're saying about the neighbor, because now you can just put this stuff online. Online is available to you. You have an online platform. Everybody with the internet and a cell phone or a computer has access now. So now there's no hiding. Okay? Everybody who likes to say bad things about people have the platform to do it now. But if you're in New York, be careful. If you're in New Jersey, be careful. If you're in the United States, period, be careful with the way you're spreading information about people, because chances are you will be put to the test. You will face the tape. You will face justice, and you will be brought to justice You will be answering to the court and you will pay the fine, right? So if a person is able to get $2 million judgment, $3 million judgment against you for defaming them, you'll have to figure it out how you're going to pay that judgment. And a lot of people will say, well, I don't have that money. I seen one person say she don't have that money. Her company doesn't have that type of money. But the reality is, right? If you don't have the money to pay a $3 million judgment or $2 million judgment or $1 million judgment, the reality is there's something called judgment enforcement in the United States, which a lot of people are not aware of, that you could actually take steps to enforce a judgment against a person. Now, there are people who are considered judgment proof, but those people are considered judgment proof is people with no asset, zero assets. They have nothing. They don't have a car. They don't have a house. They don't have a bank account. And they're probably just on welfare. And they take the welfare checks and they go cash it at the corner store that cashes checks, right? So we consider those people judgment proof. But if you're not judgment proof in that you have business, you have a job, you have a bank account, and you have money going into that bank account on a frequent basis, whether it be bi-weekly, tri-weekly, whatever weekly we're talking about. But the fact is, you have money that goes into these accounts on a regular basis, then it will make it very easy now for somebody to enforce a judgment against you, and your money in your account could be garnished. And if that money gets garnished, it means that there's a certain amount of it is going to go every time money gets in there. It's going to go. It's going to go. It's going to go till you get to the point where you're not going to be able to sustain paying that judgment. So the enforcement actions are available through the sheriff office when you enforce a judgment. And there's a lot of steps that can be taken to garnish your account, garnish your wages, put lien on your real estate if you have real estate, whatever personal property that you have in your possession, it will be taken or your account will be garnished. Okay. So just so people understand that there are ways and means of, if somebody gets a hefty judgment against you, there's ways and means of them enforcing those judgments. And you would think common sense would prevail with some people, if they become aware of what can happen if they continue to spread lies online about other people. But it's no stopping some people. And if they don't want to stop, that's no big deal. You can just give me a call and I will sort it out for you. As I said, every week, guys, the Law and You, these sessions is brought to you by my firm, Washington Law Firm, which is located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. And the phone number is right there across the screen, 718-877-3100. And guys, you can call anytime for free legal consultation. 15 minutes of free consultation is provided to all new clients. Just remember, it's just to new clients. So if you're already an existing client, that doesn't apply to you. I think it's important that I tell people that, because sometimes people, they'll call repeatedly for the free consultation, and it's just a one-time thing to the first-time clients. Okay. So if you're being harassed online, you're being bullied online, somebody's spreading false information about you online, even if people are threatening you online, they're threatening to come after you, come after your family, your children, that there might be some sort of criminal element there and that person could be prosecuted criminally. But if it's a case where they're just spreading rumors about you, about infidelity, about your chastity as a woman, about your finances, about things that tend to lower the minds of people about you, or they're thinking about you, the mind of right-minded people against you, then you could maintain an action for defamation. In New York, we don't have any civil action for harassment, but we do have invasion of privacy. So if somebody consistently invades your privacy by posting your pictures, your nude, whatever it is, without your permission, you never give them permission to do that, but somehow they came into possession of a picture of you, maybe from obtaining it online. They might be an invasion of privacy claim. So, guys, also be careful with what you publish about yourself and your family online, because you do not know who are out there looking in your business, lurking in your business, and that's one of the reasons I stopped posting too much and lying about myself, because there are a lot of people who are lurking in your business. They're not minding their own business. I mean, it's one thing for people to like your post and comment good things on it, but then it's a completely different thing for somebody to be stalking you and lurking consistently in your business and just projecting negative images over you and your family. So sometimes it's best to just keep your personal life personal, private, and just share limited stuff about your business, so that if there's somebody there lurking with vengeance against you, they wouldn't have anything much to use against you. They wouldn't find your husband picture, your wife pictures, your children pictures, and because there are some vicious people out there. So, guys, if you're being harassed, you're being defamed, you're being slandered, your business is suffering because of false defamatory information people are spreading, just give the Washington law firm a call. We're specialized in tortious actions, personal injuries, medical malpractice, matrimonial. Give me a call, 718-877-3100. Don't sit there and suffer in silence because somebody keeps bullying you online and every day you're crying and you're concerned. Just pick up the phone and call the firm today. Give us a call and we will take care of it for you. Okay, guys, thank you once again for joining me on today's edition of The Law and You. And guys, I encourage you guys to stay safe out there. Keep your content, keep what you don't want to be spread about you online to yourself. Keep your personal information to yourself and be mindful of what you're publishing so that your information would not get into the wrong hands and you wouldn't have to be worried or bothered. Okay, guys, share the content, share the content. Don't forget to share the content every time. I do appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the shares. I appreciate all the supporters. All of you have been supporting me over the years. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I do look forward to see you again next Saturday at the same time, 4 p.m. for The Law and You. It's been my pleasure, guys. If there's any particular issue you would like for us to speak about, let me know and I can get my panel of attorneys and we can come on here and discuss any topic that you would like to speak about. But anyway, thank you so much. I do hope that you enjoyed the rest of your weekend, and I will see you again next Saturday at 4 p.m. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.